Welcome to Warp into War, your ultimate guide to Warhammer.
Welcome back, Commanders. Let's jump right into today's Tactical Explainer. We're talking about Warp into War, and we are diving headfirst into literally the most brutal, glorious, and strategic tabletop conflict of the entire year. Yep, we're talking about the Warhammer 40,000 World Team Championships for 2026. So, to put this into perspective, the WTC is basically the tabletop wargaming equivalent of the Olympics, or, the World Cup. It is factually the most prestigious proving ground in the world for competitive miniature gaming. This is where absolute legends of the hobby are forged. And what's really fascinating here is that we aren't just talking about local weekend club games, right? We're talking about elite national teams of 5 to 8 players traveling internationally, they're representing their home countries and pushing their strategic mastery, and honestly, their dice-rolling nerve, to the absolute limit against the best in the world.
Okay, so let's map out the proving grounds. Exactly where and when do you need to deploy your forces?
For 2026, the battlefield is the Necker Hall in Mechelen, Belgium. And looking at the timeline, the campaign stretches from August 11th all the way through the 16th. It's actually split across 2 totally distinct and honestly brutal theaters of war. Those 2 fronts of war represent the different categories for the event. Basically, you've got 2 different avenues for glory during the week, a grueling solo mission and the ultimate cooperative siege. First up is the solo mission, the War Master GT. This massive singles tournament runs on August 11 and 12, with the finals on the 13th. Make no mistake, if you want to test your individual mettle against a slew of the absolute highest-ranked international players, this is your crucible. It's widely considered one of the hardest individual events to win on the planet. But then, we get to the crown jewel. The true main event is the WTC team event, kicking off on August 13th. This is the official World Cup of 40K. National teams of 8 players competing together to crown the world champions. And here is a super vital rule to remember. Every single player on that 8-person team has to play a completely unique army faction. No duplicates allowed across the team whatsoever. Before we get too far into looking at the 2026 campaign, we kind of have to honor the ancestors and study the victors of the 2025 WTC just to understand the sheer caliber of strategy you need to survive this gauntlet. Looking at the records, you can see the absolute dominance in the top 3 placements. Germany 1 took the ultimate victory, completely unbeaten, just a flawless late push. Meanwhile, Australia 1 and USA 2 held the line right behind them, battling to a total dead heat for the majority of the event. Just incredible games. So let's talk about strategic deployments, specifically the pairing system. Because how these 8-player teams actually end up facing off against each other is easily one of the most fascinating aspects of the whole event.
Setting up these 8 individual matches between 2 rival nations, it is definitely not random. It's an intensely psychological pairing system managed by the team captains. It works almost like a high-stakes game of poker, all designed to secure favorable matchups and, avoid absolute disaster before a single miniature is even moved. Let's break down exactly how this genius system works.
It all starts with the hidden defenders. Both team captains secretly choose one player from their 8-man roster to act as a defender. Once they've both made their choice, they reveal their defending player at the exact same time. Next up, the strike force is sent in. Each captain studies the enemy's revealed defender, looks at their own remaining roster, and secretly picks 2 attackers. They're looking for the 2 players who have the absolute best strategic advantage to crush that specific enemy army. And just like before, these 2 attackers are revealed simultaneously. Now here's where the power dynamic totally shifts. The defender gets to choose their poison. The defending team looks at the 2 attackers sent against them and literally picks which one they want to play against. The player they choose locks in that match, and the unpicked attacker? They're spared, going right back into the pool for the next round. This incredibly stressful, highly psychological loop repeats over and over with the remaining players. Captains have to predict enemy movements, and sometimes even sacrifice certain armies just to protect their star players. Eventually, the unpicked players are paired up, and the very last 2 standing are forced into a direct head-to-head match. Honestly, it's just pure tactical brilliance. Okay, but what if you can't actually make the drop to Belgium yourself to watch this massive mental and physical marathon? Don't worry, you are completely covered. Remote viewing is actually highly encouraged.
The WTC has a dedicated event streams tab right on their website, and the carnage is broadcast directly to YouTube and Twitch. You'll have massive channels there, including official Warhammer streams and legendary independent setups like Wargames Live, with dedicated commentators breaking down all the tactics and dice rolls in real time.
And that concludes our tactical briefing for this explainer. Thanks so much for joining us today to unpack the sheer scale and strategy of the WTC. We will be right back here next Saturday. But before we go, let us know, will you be tuning in to watch any of the action?